I can play the music if you want, but
Yes,
you can't
yes,
say
yes,
anything.
yes, please. Did you fix the music now?
Well, I don't know, but you can't talk because then we get feedback.
Okay.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American. Where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Proud to be an American. Sometimes I wonder why we are proud to be an American with all the injustices. If you have nothing to worry about, if you got no corruption in your file, if you are not corrupted, face the Tribune. But if you do, the Tribune is going to face you. And today, of course, my co-host, my guest today is another case of judicial misconduct and judicial corruption and abuse and everything else. His name is Mark.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Mark. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave. To come forward and tell the story, because I tell you, I've been reading the story for the last 3 days, and it doesn't surprise at all, but because we got another victim of over here is a very common for a crime that they did not commit. But unfortunately, we always believe that the person who is telling the story is lying. We always believe that the person who is the victim of the system, it is in fact guilty and is trying to cover for himself. So, but this is nothing new to me, and it doesn't surprise me. But I believe that it's important that the people of Las Vegas will be able to recognize the modus operandi of the lawyers, the judges, the prosecutor, and the defense attorneys, because it is a fact that they are all in cahoots. They are all in the same package, trying to, for some reason or another one, to win something.
They want a notch.
They want a notch. Thank you, Clark. What would I do without you, Clark? You know, I don't know anything. Mark, how the whole Odyssey happened? How the whole thing started?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll try to, put it together. So,
Yeah, we only got 55 minutes.
right,
So,
okay. Well, the main reason why this happened to me is like a form of blackmail. I had written a book. I authored a book called The Secret and the Truth of the Ages by Cordova. And after I authored this book, an older woman, she was a lesbian lady in her late 40s who works at one of the casinos here in Las Vegas. She's a manager, and she's also a Muslim, and she was married. And I met this woman, and she said she's a devout Muslim. Wow. She started dating this 18-year-old girl who I was producing an album for. And she was with my company, this 18-year-old girl. At the time she was 18.
your business is producing music?
Producing music, and I'm a producer of things. I create values for people. I'm also a boxing trainer.
Okay.
And I was creating a value for boxers as well. And because of this book, this girl who was a singer that I was producing an album for, I met her when she was 14. She started recording with me when she was 14. Well, when she's 18, she's going to college, and I tell her to take business of music, take business management. She meets this lady there. Well, she starts dating this lady, and this lady's spending all kinds of money on her, taking her to hotels, trips, all kinds of stuff like that. And so when I decided to write this book, this girl, she typed typed into the computer so we could make the book. And because she did this, I put her down as editor. But I am the one who actually had to edit it because she didn't do a very good job. I had to fix everything and get it all straightened out.
Does she speak English?
Yeah, she speaks English. She was in college too. And so, anyways, so I did that. And so then I get the book finished and we start marketing this book. And at the time, this girl's still with my business. And but then she's with this dyke lady, and she just gets tired of being around the business because nothing's going on. She seems there's nothing's going on, and so she quits. I told her, I said, well, why don't you just quit? Why are you still here? And it was because of the book. She knew that book it's a controversial book, and here's why. So she quit, right? Then a year and a half later, I get arrested. But before that, I'm doing a book signing at Barnes & Noble's about my book as an unknown author, and I break a record. Like I sold 52 books, which usually a person like that only sells like 11 or 12 books. I sold 52 books, and then they had a reorder of 33 books 3 times. So the book was taken off. It was selling out at the Psychic Eye every week.
What was the book about?
It's about why everything is the way it is. Why it's about religion, government, the secret societies, and how, it's like a history of why humankind is the way it is, and it's not a religious book, but in this case, they're trying to say that I started a religion, but I didn't start a religion. If you read my book, you'll see I'm not starting a religion. They're just making up this stuff to like make me look like a
cult?
like a cult guy. Yeah, I don't have any followers. I'm not starting a church. It's just a book I made, and so, but they use it. They're using that, which is not even evidence anyway. But so this lesbian lady, this dyke lady, sees while this book's taking off, and she is the one who I believe has got this girl to make up these lies about me, as a conspiracy to blackmail me for the money for the book. And so also, this lady was training at another boxing gym where there's another lady who I want to say, but I don't want to say, is like the president of USA Boxing for Nevada. So there's a connection right there, and there's a connection to the boxer girl. So I'm thinking that these 4 women got together to conspire against me like this, because the president of the Nevada USA Boxing hates me. She hates me because all my boxers are always knocking her boxers out, always beating her boxers. They have to cheat my boxers to win. There's corruption everywhere, even in USA Boxing. There's cheating all the time. She has these referees who always cheat, and their officers who are always cheating. It's always like that. Well, so there's these 4 people who have something against me. They have a motive. And so a year after this girl quits, a year and a half after this girl quits, on Cinco de Mayo 2013, I can never forget that day. The police come to my door and knock on it. Are you Mark Cordova? Yes. You are under arrest. And they take me to jail. And the charge is statutory sexual seduction. Which I
It
didn't.
was a plain clothes or uniform cops?
They had uniforms, yes.
Uniform.
Uniform cop. And they took me, and I couldn't even understand what this charge is. And they took me to jail. They put me in this room with murderers, but at the time I didn't know they were murderers. And the guys in there were laughing because everyone has a paper what they're arrested for. And they're saying, "What's this, sexual seduction?" I go, "I don't know. Are you Casanova at somebody?" And they thought it was funny. So nobody was bothering me. Then another guard comes by, and he's one of my boxers. He sees me in there and he gets me out. He says, "Coach, what the heck are you doing in here?" I said, "I don't know, man. What is this?" And he looks at it. And he says, "Oh," and he explains to me what it is. Then he sees the girl's name, which I couldn't see because the police, they write all sloppy. So it was her. It was the one, the singer girl. So I'm like, "What?" So he says, "What are you doing in here with these murderers?" I go, "Murderers? I don't know."
But he was in jail too?
Yeah, he's one of the COs in the jail, one of the officers.
Oh, he is a CO.
Yeah.
He was not in the cell with you?
No, he's a guard.
Oh, he's a guard.
He's one of my boxers. I won him a fight in at the Hard Rock.
Oh,
The guy took him to the Hard
okay.
Rock.
So,
That's another reason why.
so what happened now?
so-
He took you out of there or left you there?
No, he left me there, and because he told the other guards, he says, "How come he's in here?" And they're like looking at each other weird, like, kind of weird. And then they said, "Explain why." And I don't think he had to go put me back in there because he didn't want to go against.
Yeah, the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it went like that. Then I ended up in population with murderers. My cellmate had murdered his dad with a baseball bat 6 months prior. So I'm put in here
Wow.
with these murderers. Well, to make this, then I'm in there for a week. And then I'm sent to the public defender. And the public defender tells me, he goes, "I have some bad news." Because it was 3 counts of sexual seduction. Statutory sexual seduction. 3 counts. Then he says, "I have some bad news." They added a charge, 20 to life. To scare the hell out of me. If you plead to one of these lesser charges, we'll drop the other charges. And this is the public defender supposed to be defending me, telling me that. So I got upset and I just realized that they're trying to scare me. And then that's what my book's about. I says, you know what? For 2,000 years, we were put in fear that we had to believe or we'd be burned alive. I said, fear is the thing that's been used against us through everything. Government, religion. I says, no, I'm not afraid. I says, no. And so I went back to my cell, and my parents had bonded me out of jail. So then I got these lawyers. I said, I'm going to get some lawyers. Because I'm thinking you get lawyers, and they're going to help you. And these lawyers cost $50,000. I didn't know anything about law or how it
I
really
don't mean
works.
to laugh at your
Right.
problem. I'm laughing because that's the problem. Everybody think that those lawyers are your lifesaver, and they are not. They are part of the problem.
Right. So I tell these lawyers, I says, I hire these lawyers and they say, oh, don't worry about it. There's no evidence at all. This is hearsay. They don't have any evidence. This is just a 20-year-old woman saying something happened to her when she's 14. And you have a chaperone here.
Well, but it is possible. It is possible. Look what happened to Bill Cosby. 25 years later, the woman accused him of.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know, why you wait 25 years?
Right.
I never been able to communicate. I never been able to comprehend that. Go ahead.
And so, but there was a chaperone there the whole time, and when this detective is taking an interview, he took an interview from the singer girl, who's the complaining witness, and an interview from the boxer girl, who they got involved, and that's strange because the boxer girl and the singer girl ended up hating each other, and so, and then an interview from the chaperone, and the chaperone states that she never saw anything happen, that she was there all the time. Contradicting her statement, the complaining witness says that she was dropped off. But the chaperone's saying she never dropped her off. And the detective's trying to get her to say she dropped her off. He asked her 3 times. And the 3rd time she says, no, no, no. I didn't drop her off. He goes, if I left, I came back right away. You know? But, so we're there. And she's saying she never saw anything. The only thing she thinks she said she saw was that that we were in my room one time, that I was getting something out of my room from the drawers or something, and this girl jumps on my bed, and she says she thought that was peculiar, and that's the only thing she ever saw. But I mean, we're all three were there in the room. Is what she's saying, because I don't remember this, but what she's saying, all three are there. I didn't throw her on the bed. I wasn't on the bed too. She jumped on the bed herself, you know. And then we must have left after I found what I finally found, and we walked out the room. So that's the only thing she said she ever saw. But she never saw anything at all. And so that statement right there, she's the only witness, the only real witness. It's the chaperone.
And what happened to her now?
She's somewhere in Peru, I guess. She's still in
But
the back.
she retracted the statement?
No,
she
never
denied.
No, never. My lawyers never went to investigate her. The lawyers never did anything. When we went to
Because the reason I'm asking, because a lot of times it happened that the police intimidate and scare the witness, then it's in your favor.
That was
and they move the person out of the.
She wasn't even my witness. They called her thinking that she's going to be a witness for them, and she says no, I never saw nothing. I never had any reason to believe anything going on. It's all in her statement, and then they try to coax her to say she dropped her off, but she never did. So it just didn't make any sense.
What is your status now? Are you still waiting for trial?
Well, what happened? No, here's what happened. We went to the preliminary hearing, which is to determine whether there be a trial and to determine if this witness is credible, the complaining witness. Well, she contradicted in the preliminary hearing everything.
Who was the judge? Oh, you said that was.
There was Conrad Hayfin?
Correct.
Yeah, he was the judge. And so she contradicted everything she said about these alleged incidents from the interview to this one. She even contradicted in there. She stated that this happened in the summer of 2007, when she's going to start going to high school, right? She says that that's when it happened. But then later on, she says that after Ashley was not being a chaperone anymore, and the mother started bringing her, that I had told her to get a boyfriend so things don't look suspicious. Well, then she says later on in the same preliminary hearing that she got her boyfriends when she was a sophomore. I guess she's trying to like make herself to look like a saint or look better or something, because she's saying now she got her boyfriends when she's a sophomore. And they asked her, why do you think then? She goes, it was because I got my first boyfriends when I was a sophomore, so I think that's why I'm saying it happened then. Well, then that's 2008. That's the summer of 2008. So now she's saying at the same place that this happened in 2008, and then it happened in 2007. Contradiction, big time. And then especially also contradicting from the statements from the interview, that she came back the next day. But then in preliminary hearing, she says, I can't remember, it was 3 or 4 days later I came back. And she says she was a virgin. What girl don't remember what happened when they're a virgin? You know, and it's just ridiculous. And then to top it off, the biggest exculpatory evidence, I've been learning these words because I'm going to court and all this. I have an abundance of affirmative defenses, which are substantial evidence to prove my innocence, and I have exculpatory evidence which proves my innocence. On the stand, I'm feeling that my lawyers thought that I was not circumcised because I'm Catholic and the lawyer was Jewish, so he assumed that I'm not circumcised. So he's questioning her, is he circumcised his penis? Do you know if he's circumcised or not? And she says, I think he's not. You think or you know? I'm pretty sure he's not. You sure? Yes, he's not. So he gets her to say that she's sure that I'm not circumcised, because that's what he wants, to say that she's sure. I've been circumcised since I was 2 hours of birth. I've been circumcised. She also said that she fondled me like 10 times to make me get an erection. If you're blind, you're going to know if somebody's circumcised, right? She's saying she's sure that I'm not. But I am, and I have been since 2 hours of birth. This is exculpatory evidence proving my innocence. Well, the lawyer right there is supposed to go, let the record reflect that the witness has just impeached herself on the stand, committing perjury, for my client is circumcised. There would have been no more case. But he didn't do that. He just walks away, and I'm telling the other lawyer, I'm like, hey man, she's lying. And he's going, shh, be quiet.
You should have got up and whipped it out right there.
I didn't know. Maybe I should have. I wished I could. I didn't know what the heck to
Monday
do.
morning.
Yeah, that's
court.
another problem we have with the court system. Lawyers, when you try to speak and
Yeah,
correct the
that's it,
mistake, they tell you, shh, don't talk.
And
And
they
the
make
judge-
they make a big effort
And
of
the
it so
judge
everybody
threatens you.
sees.
The judge threatens you. The judge threatened
Yeah.
to put me in
Yeah.
put me in jail.
Yeah, especially
When I
Hafen.
tried to talk in court.
Who, Hafen?
No, this was Villani.
Oh,
And-
Milani.
and so-
Oh, you was already in district court.
Yeah, see, no, not yet. This didn't happen yet. See,
But Belani is in district court.
I know. I went there later. This is what happened. See,
Oh.
after that, they decided she's a credible witness. Which of course she wasn't. Not at all. And so, this preliminary hearing's over with. I'm like in a nightmare wondering what the heck's going on with these lawyers. What's going on? And they says, don't worry about it. Then the lawyers did only two things after that. They did two things, two motions. One, they said my age wrong in the hearing, so that they think they could drop my case because my age is wrong, which is ridiculous. They knew that was a dead end. They're just acting like they're doing something. Then this girl also said she saw a psychologist that said she was brainwashed. So they wanted to see the report from the psychologist. Well, you can't see something that's confidential between a patient and, so they knew they couldn't get that either, and the judge denied it. Those are the only two things they did. But they didn't show the evidence of the facts about these alleged incidents, all the contradiction and the lying and the exculpatory evidence. My exculpatory evidence is the penis doesn't fit. You know, like O.J. Simpson, the glove doesn't fit. The penis doesn't fit. My exculpatory evidence is that about my penis, and the alibi witness, who was the chaperone, who stated she didn't see anything. That's right there is exculpatory evidence which proves my innocence. They didn't advance any of that. They didn't go interview any of the witnesses. They didn't do anything. And then they postponed the trial for 2 years because I'm thinking that they're waiting to see if my book's going to make some money. Because it's all about the money. And so then, after 2 years, they finally get detectives to go investigate for me before this trial. Well, these detectives, all they did, they didn't do anything either. All they did was say, you know, all these cases, they go to a plea bargain. You need to take a plea bargain. And I go, what? What about this witness here? What witness? I didn't see it. They always act like Ashley McLean is invisible and she's not there. Like she doesn't exist. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And so I got upset and I went to the lawyers. I said, I don't like these detectives. They're trying to scare me. What is this plea bargain thing? He goes, oh no, you got to go see them. Go back and see them. And then they changed their attitude a little bit, like they're helping me, but they still weren't. And then I left. And then I went
Do you
home.
remember the name of the detectives?
Not really, but I know where their office is. I know where their office is.
Well, on West Charleston?
Off of Maryland Parkway, by Charleston, yeah. Off of Maryland Parkway, right there, close to Charleston. And so then I go home and this one detective calls me up and he goes, who is this Ashley McLean? Because I go, that's the witness I'm telling you about. And he goes, well, why wasn't she put into the, oh wait, I'll call you back. Put into the what? Why wasn't she put into the what? Her testimony wasn't put into the what? The discovery? The what? And then he hangs up and never calls me back and I never heard from them again.
And that was a police detective or a private detective?
It's a detective that the lawyers got.
Oh, okay, so that would be right
Paul
there.
Drake.
Eh?
Paul Drake.
They just got
No,
him.
no.
The only reason they got
that is right there by the park, by the circle.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Mhm. The only reason they
Oh.
got them was
I
to
know.
scare me.
I know him.
To scare me. Then all of a sudden the lawyers text me saying, great news, call me. And I call him, he goes, we got a plea bargain.
Mm-hmm.
5-year plea bargain.
Oh, great.
I'm like, what? I said, what are you talking about?
That was Parentes.
Yeah, Parente.
Oh, that was Sullivan.
Parente called me.
Parente.
Text me and I called him. And so then, after this, they coerce and threaten me to take this plea bargain because they say, if you don't take this plea bargain, you're going to go to prison for 20 to life. You're going to go to prison for 20 to life.
That's what Parentes said?
Yeah, that's what they told me. And so I'm like, this nightmare won't end. This is 2 years of nightmare. So then I go and have to take this plea bargain. I take it, and then they put me in these sex classes. They didn't tell me what's going to happen when this
Of
plea
course,
bargain.
they don't tell you that.
They didn't
and
tell
they
me-
don't tell you that that's staying in your record for the rest of your life.
Yeah, they didn't tell me that they're going to revoked my manager's professional boxing license away, which I was about to sign a heavyweight boxer, a kid. He was 16, getting ready to turn 17, he's sparring all over town, beating up all the professional pros in town, grown men at 16. I even have video of him whooping up on a 10-0 African at Roy Jones Jr.'s gym. He was incredible, and we're getting ready to sign him for millions of dollars. I couldn't take him to the Olympics because they had my USA passbook for amateur boxing revoked from me before there was even a trial. Just because I was arrested for this, USA Boxing took my book away, and so I couldn't take him to the Olympics. He would have been the first heavyweight champion.
What do you mean your book?
It's a passbook.
Your card?
It's a passbook that allows you to train amateurs, and I was a level 2 coach. And I'm the one that represented Nevada. I was a respectable coach throughout all. We could go to any gyms and spar anywhere. We could go anywhere. We were invited. People wanted us in their gyms because my boxers were great. And so he didn't get to go to the Olympics. So for a whole year at the age of 17, he wasn't able to train. So now I'm training him again because my probation officer allowed me to. Before that, I wasn't allowed to train anybody. Then they went and revoked my professional boxer's manager's license. So they took my whole life away, and I can't train boxers. I couldn't do anything.
So what are you doing now? Dishwashing?
Well, no, I'm doing the best I can, doing odd jobs, this and that, whatever, as best I can to survive. I had to file bankruptcy because I was going to lose my house. They just took everything from me. I can't use the internet. I can't use the internet because they think they say I'm going to look at pornography or something, which is part of this sex offender thing, the conditions of probation. They forced me.
So you did plead guilty?
I plead Alford.
Alford. Well,
This is how the lawyers got me to do it.
Same.
The lawyers say, if you say Alford, then you're saying you didn't do the crime, but that you're still innocent, but that you can't beat the case, so that's why you're doing it. That's how they got me to take this. That's another way they got me to say Alford. And so, anyways, they forced me to go to these sex classes. These are nasty, awful classes. I gotta listen to what grown men are saying about what they did to little kids in there. I almost threw up in one of the classes. It's like, I'm the one that needs to see the psychiatrist. They're driving me crazy. I'll tell you what.
You have any questions?
I thought about jumping off of Hoover Dam. I thought about jumping off the bridge of Hoover Dam. I says, I don't have a life. They took everything away from me. I mean, they destroyed my name. My book can't work. I can't go out of state. I can't do these book signings that I was going to do. They destroyed everything in my life. So I was just going to jump off the bridge. And then I found out what I could do. So then these other people this lady saw my video on YouTube. And she said, I want to see you, I want to meet you more than anyone else because of what I'm saying about my book. So then I give her my number. She starts texting me and she says, you know, my husband, my divorced husband, he's jealous of me because I know law better than him and he's a lawyer. And I go, really? We started talking and make a long story short.
Her ex-husband.
Yeah, and I told her about my case and she goes, what? So she gives me a number to this other guy. And then he goes, what? Man, we could sue the heck out of it. And he goes, that's bullshit. That's called ineffective assistance of counsel. There's all kinds of stuff, corruption here.
And who was that?
I'm not gonna say his name.
Why?
He's a guy on the East Coast, and let me tell you this. He gave me a name to another guy, and this guy said, "Oh no, we don't want to go sue them." He goes, "No, we got to get you free first. We got to get you free." So he made up a motion that I went and filed when I didn't know I could do that, to withdraw a plea, but first you got to withdraw the lawyers, because if the lawyers are in charge of you, you can't withdraw the plea. They have to.
Right.
So I went to withdraw the lawyers, and they did not respond to my motion for months.
The judge didn't want it to...
Nobody. The district attorney did not respond to my motions, which means they defaulted, but they don't care. If they defaulted, they're supposed to drop the case. But they didn't. They don't drop the case. And so we filed again. That was in January this year. Then we filed again in March 29th. And then I found out you got to file notice of motion. But there is notice of motion in that other one, the first one. So I filed notice of motion. We finally got a court date. I go to court, and the lawyers come up and withdraw themselves. Sullivan walks up and withdraws himself. Why? I don't know, but he withdrew himself, and I was happy with it, because now I got him out the way. Now we can file to withdraw the plea.
What about Parentis?
He never showed up. He's withdrawal too.
Oh, he was...
Yeah.
Well, through Sullivan.
Yeah, And so then we're going to withdraw the plea. So I'm going to show that, you know, and what was done, ineffective assistance of
God, are you
counsel.
listening to this?
Yeah.
You know, all what the lawyers did and what they didn't do. What is it called? Malpractice. All this stuff. The detective who did false arrest on me because that warrant summons is bogus. You know, for them to get me arrested, and all of this stuff that happened. And so then the judge says I have to take a test to see if I can represent myself, because I wanted counsel outside the bar, not a bar attorney, but someone who's going to help me, not a bar attorney who's going to help sabotage my case again. So
Well, and a counsel outside the bar cannot practice law, right?
Well, you can represent yourself.
Yeah, but if he finds somebody else, then
I
it
don't
is.
know how that would work.
I don't know how
it's,
that
in the
works.
Constitution, you're supposed to have counsel of choice, but they don't follow the Constitution. So they said I can't have that. So then they says I have to take a test to see if I can represent myself. Then when I come to take this test on the next hearing, there's no test. He pushes this other lawyer on me named Ruggiarelli, who's in the same office as the DA. I don't know this yet. And he says, if you don't take this lawyer, I'm dismissing all your motions. I'm dismissing your case. So I says, okay, I'll take him, because I didn't want my stuff dismissed. So I took this lawyer, and then when I go to see this lawyer, the first thing he tells me is, I want to let you know that I'm in the office of the district attorney. This is the district attorney's building, so that you don't try to sue me in case you try to sue me. And I'm like, you're telling me this? I says, if you're going to do your job, why do you need to be worried about being sued?
Right.
And so right away he tells, I know he's no good, because I'm showing him the evidence. He goes, well, this is evidence to be used in the trial. I go, no, that's evidence in the preliminary hearing to determine whether there be a trial. And she's impeached herself on the stand. She's not credible. What do you mean? And so right there I knew they were going to do the same thing as Perrienti and Sullivan. So now we withdraw to get him off the stand. You know,
Of the
from
case, yeah.
representing me. So then we go back to court, and then he gets himself off. For whatever reason, these guys take their self off. I guess it makes them look good or something. I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
So he takes himself off, and then the district attorney is defending him. He's defending him. And why are you defending him? He was against you, because they're buddies, right?
Yeah.
And so then I put down in a motion that I need an attorney who's going to do this, that he has to do this certain stuff.
Yeah.
And that I can record him, so I can make sure he's not going to do more ineffective assistance of counsel. Because I have all kinds of evidence, exculpatory evidence that proves my innocence. They don't have anything. They never did. The district attorney only has circumstantial hearsay evidence of instances that were supposedly to occur 6 years in the past, with no witness or evidence whatsoever. That's all they have. They don't have any evidence really at all. That's all they get. That's it. And so, if the lawyer just goes in and do what's supposed to do, there's no case right now. According to the law, when the judge sees the motions and sees the evidence that I produce, and he looks and sees the evidence is true, the judge, according to the way the law goes, is supposed to just stop everything right there. But no, he continues to help the district attorney, help the other lawyers, you know, by doing. Well, so anyways, then I'm trying to get an attorney that's going to do what I say. So I go back to court again, but this time the judge just says, I'm dismissing your motion to vacate sentence and for ineffective assistance of counsel. So he's protecting the lawyers.
And who was that judge?
Surprise.
Michael P. Villani. And so then I go, what? I says, what do you mean what do I do? He goes, I can't give you advice, I'm not your lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I go, well, what do I do? He goes, you have to refile. And you gotta, and I says, what's your reason? And he says, because you didn't put the NRS statute number in there properly, that's why.
Yeah, always some funny
Well, you
stuff.
gotta find something.
But those NRS statute numbers are in the other motions, the very first ones. They're there. But I didn't know what to say because I'm not a lawyer, so they're just playing games on me. So then I says, well, I need the original criminal complaint. I need the criminal complaint. And he goes, well, who's his lawyers? I go, they never had it. I says, I have a statement right here that says, everything but the criminal complaint has been filed under seal. And this is the clerk's office stating that they filed everything but the criminal complaint. Now there's a paper that says criminal complaint, but it just says what I was arrested for. I'm talking about the sworn statement affidavit that this person, the complaining witness, had to swear that this happened to her. I can't be arrested. See, when a crime happens, there's a police report because a crime happens and they go over there and this and that. But when somebody's just saying that there's a crime happened 6 years in the past, they're just saying it, then you have to be arrested by the person who's saying it. They have to take a sworn statement, an affidavit, and they're the ones that are getting you arrested, not the detective. But it's the detective. They ignored that because I don't think it exists. Because my lawyers didn't have it, this affidavit. Right here it says, except for the criminal complaint. So the clerk's covering their butt. And then I went to the police department to get it. They don't have it. So I'm like, where is it? So now I tell the judge to tell the district attorney to give it to me. And he says, oh, okay, mail it to him. But when? In a year? In a month? In a week? When are they going to mail it to me? Because if they don't have this original criminal complaint with the sworn affidavit of the complaining witness, and if they don't have that, they don't have a case, there's no case.
What is your status right now? Are you on probation?
I'm on probation.
Parole?
I'm on probation.
And you're on probation, so they didn't allow you to withdraw the guilty
No.
plea.
And according to the law, when the judge, when I presented my motions in court, and then the district attorney said, we want you to dismiss his
How
motions.
long are you gonna be on probation?
I'm not, because I'm going to get out of this. It's supposed to be 5 years. I already did a year.
You already have a year, so
Yeah.
you got 4 years to go?
Mhm.
Do you realize that they can revoke your probation, right?
They what?
They can revoke.
They can
Did
revoke it.
anybody tell you that?
Nobody told me anything. I don't.
If they don't like what you're doing, like coming over here and giving me an interview for the newspaper, do you realize that you can have your probation revoked
I don't-
and put them on prison?
No, I didn't realize that. Well,
I
then,
just wanted to tell you this before we continue with this, because I don't want to hurt you. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you.
Okay.
And I'm here to expose the criminal act that they committed against you. I just wanted to let you know that they can't.
well, then maybe we can't do this because I don't want to be put in. If they revoke my probation, it's 6 to 20 years, and I'm not trying to go to jail.
Am I right, Clark?
Well, I don't have any paperwork, I don't know what the status of all this is. If you're on probation, you have to have some kind of a probation restrictions, and where does it say you can't go on a radio show?
There's nothing like the.
It doesn't say
I don't
that?
think so. I don't know.
Gee, I don't have anything to
Oh,
look
wait.
at there, so I don't know.
Here's the.
But they'll violate your constitutional rights anyways, and then you have to prove, whatever.
Well, I don't want to
So
go
it's
to
a
jail.
nightmare.
I don't want to go to
Look what they do to Bundy, they throw him in jail because he might not follow some hypothetical future order that a court judge might do, he might not follow it in the future. So he's in jail forever, I guess, that's it. Is
Yeah.
that constitutional? He hasn't been convicted of anything. And they won't let him out because he might in the future not do something that the judge tells him to do. Which would be unconstitutional anyways, whatever the judge tells them to do won't be constitutional, but they do it, they wear the black robe, you know? It's
I
totally,
don't know where
totally,
I had
totally
it in here. I
corrupt.
had the conditions in here, and now they're not here.
They
Yeah.
probably took it away.
No, I have them at the house, the conditions of probation. But, yeah, I can't go to parks, I can't go to movie theaters, I can't go, there's certain places I can't go and do, because, sex offender stuff. Because they call me a sex offender.
He says that deal he signed was supposed to not have any of this stuff in it, and then after he signed it, they took a signatory page, and then they attached it to the things that he wouldn't sign.
Yeah, that's-
And then that became
That's what
he
Pariente
signed.
did, that's what Pariente did. Pariente was saying, you gotta come in and sign these papers. Then he reads it to me, and I go, okay, and then I sign, okay. But then, later, there's a whole bunch of more stuff in it.
Yeah. Sure.
Preventing. The whole thing is just major corruption. I found out that 60% of the people in jail are in jail because of what somebody said. Not.
Yeah, and the lawyers can say anything and nobody holds them accountable for anything. They can tell you right in front of everybody, 2 and 2 is 5, and nobody questions it. Nobody questions it.
But
Not an issue.
when you are, and this is a question then probably for a lawyer, if you are on probation, it's because,
You signed away all your rights to get on probation.
Yeah.
right, but they don't give you prison time, right? They give you.
You're not in prison because you made a deal to get probation.
Right,
So you signed away every single goddamn right you have
Yep.
in life to get on probation. Because that's better than being in jail. So you sign away every single goddamn right you have. And in and of itself, that's unconstitutional.
but I mean, if they revoke his probation,
He goes back to
what are they
jail.
gonna give him? He didn't have.
Whatever his original
he-
sentence was. What's
he
he on
didn't have
probation
it.
for?
He didn't have, that's what I'm asking.
They sentence you. This is how.
To
they do
what?
it.
How much time?
I just told you, 6 to 20 years. 6 years to 20 years. They sentenced me to 6 to 20 years, and then if I complete my probation, then it gets
So if they put you on probation right away, you never did
How
any
long
of
is
this.
it?
right away.
How much of a probation time do you have?
4 more years. It's 5 years. I did 1 year. So if this is gonna endanger me to get.
No, you're fucked.
No, it's not gonna endanger because if that is the case, I will not continue with the interview. I will not do that to not you, but to nobody. I've been a victim of this system. He's a victim right now of the system.
But civil, not criminal.
Yeah, but mine was criminal
Mm.
because I didn't want to be a snitch.
Oh, they're trying to get you to
They
snitch.
set him up.
They set me up.
You wouldn't do illegally what they wanted him to do illegally, so they just set him up and made him illegal.
Yeah, and he had a judge stealing $1.5 million cashier check. Right there, it's right
Stop
there,
paying
the
on
cashier
the
check.
cashier's check because he said it was lost. So then the
The
bank.
judge lied, saying
Yeah.
that the cashier check was
The
stolen.
same day he said the check was lost.
And the cashier
he
check is
swore
right
out
there.
an arrest warrant for me because I wouldn't give him the check. You mean the same check that's lost? Is that the check you want me to give you? So it's just criminality, but it takes me 4 years to straighten it out because of the fact that he's a judge and he signed his name and this and that, and you just don't straighten those things out.
And
Because
then
the entire system's broken.
maybe that's why too, Channel 13, Channel 8, they didn't want to, I called them, talked to them, and they didn't want to.
Yeah, because it's the court system.
Unless,
You don't have to dial 7, nothing.
You gotta dial 702, it's a local number.
Yeah.
Without the one. And that's going on the air.
Yeah, it's okay. I wanted him to be on the air.
Okay.
I just hope they won't, I don't want to be
Then
going.
Good
Martinez?
afternoon, Benjamin Child's office. May I please have your name?
Sandy, is he there?
He's not. He has to go to court, Rolando.
Oh, okay.
He'll be back in about an hour.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is he back from Africa?
Yeah, he's back already
Obviously.
from there. He's back right now.
Okay, thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, don't mention Parentes' name now because I'm gonna call a guy that I believe is in partnership with Parente now.
Oh, there's another guy I'm gonna say that.
Party law firm, John Watkins of Council, this is Chris.
Chris, this is Rolando with Las Vegas Tribune. Is John there?
Let me see, I believe John is at lunch right now, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I tried to call the two people that I
See, the
know.
biggest problem with the court system is, who do you go to get the court system straightened out? You go to the court system. So how's that gonna work? It's not. That's why the whole system is just totally toast. It's toast.
It's just like the days, it's,
I just had a discussion with a lawyer today, and I said, what's gonna happen, my projection of the lawyers, the whole judicial system is, nobody in the future is gonna use it, because it's totally broken. So I suggested that you buy stock in Murder Incorporated, because that company's gonna go through the roof, because people aren't gonna go to court, they're gonna hire a hitman to take care of their problems. That's what you're gonna have happen. Why, how do you go to court? With a legitimate complaint, and they just rape all your money away from you because you have it. I got a judge that just awarded my money. I won a case. He awarded my money as a prevailing party to the losing party's attorney. So that's like you're in court, there's a bank robber there. He goes to jail, and his lawyer says, wait a minute, I haven't been paid yet. And the judge says, oh, well, we'll just charge the bank over here to pay your legal fees. So the bank's paying the legal fees of the bank robber. The same thing. The same thing. And they don't give a crap. Doesn't mean anything to them. They break the law, who holds them accountable? You go to the
You know,
Judiciary Commission? No, they don't do it. They're all judges and lawyers.
This is a beautiful story. It is a real story. But I'm telling you, I cannot continue with this
here's what
story.
we could do.
I cannot continue until I didn't get an opinion from those two lawyers, because I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna be part of the system.
Right. Here's what we could do though. I'm fighting it still, and there's a chance I can get my plea withdrawn. Because there's people helping me.
Who do you go to? The system, to get
Right,
them to withdraw your plea.
Right. Well, I have a secret weapon.
You better be.
Because there are some bar attorney lawyers who do really help you.
Over here.
Well,
Not here, very few. But anyways, what I'm saying, I don't want to say, so there's a chance I get out of
They'd
this.
have to be national on a civil rights basis or something.
Once I get out of this, then I'll come back. Well, they can.
when you went to Channel 13, what did they tell you?
Oh, he said they looked at, I called them up, they supposedly looked at my case in the internet and said, oh no, it's a he said, she said thing. We don't want nothing to do with it right now. No, right now, no, we can't use it now.
Well, that's the point, because the he said, she said, doesn't matter to the law, they just railroad you.
Why,
Because
what
he
was
said,
the other
she said,
channel?
how'd you get?
Then Channel 8 says, well, are you willing to do an interview? And I says, only if I know you're gonna interview me the right way and not try to make me look worse. And then they never got back to me.
Of course, yeah, well, shit.
Who do you talk to on Channel 8?
Some lady.
You don't know the name of the lady?
I can't remember all these names. There's so many names of everybody.
Well, my friend, you need to start getting a piece of paper and a pen
Writing the
and
names.
start writing all the names, because someday you're gonna need those names for one reason or another one. For the good reason to give them credit for what they did for you, or to expose them and how they work with the criminal lawyers and the criminal district attorney and the criminal system that we have in this city. You need to make sure that those people, you got their names, and if you can, the date and the time of the day that you talk to them, because someday you may need those people. Because otherwise, I know that you're telling me the truth, because like I said, I've been a victim of the system. He is a victim in the system. Two different cases, one civil, one criminal, but we know what the government is capable of doing.
Yeah.
We know what the police is capable of
I'm gonna
doing.
leave this for you. See, well, telling the truth, I have proof. I have evidence, proof. Not just saying, believe me what I say. No, I'll show you. You don't have to believe me. I'll show you that you can know that I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
This is all stuff about the evidence that I have, and this is more evidence. It's like all the evidence I got that the lawyers never did. And all the evidence is documented in court record. So there's no way that the district attorney can.
So if I go in the internet and I put your case number, all this will come out?
Well, this is telling you where to look. This is
Okay,
telling you
that's
where
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It will tell me where
Let's see
to.
right here, watch. It says, in regards to the third alleged incident, on page 21 of the voluntary statement by Chapman to Metro, that this alleged incident occurred in Cordova bedroom, and that it was a non-intercourse act involving tongue and vagina fellatio. In the preliminary hearing transcript, page 22, this is contradicted by Chapman, who states that it occurred in a different bedroom of Cordova's house, and that no kind of sex act at all occurred. See, it tells you where to look. It tells you where to look. And all of this.
Okay.
So it's easy. It's easy for you to find it, look for the evidence to see instead of having to look through everything. You just read this, and then you can look at it and see the difference.
Yeah, because.
Or maybe an interview can be done where I'm not here. And you guys do the interview and say, there's a certain gentleman.
Yeah, but,
Oh, that's on.
you know, we can, and let me make some phone calls after we get off the air. Let me call some lawyers, and I even maybe, if I get lucky, I can talk to Steve Wilson, the district attorney, and get him to tell me his opinion or to point me to the law on what the
They'll
consequence.
tell you to go to the Metro and have them do an investigation, and when they get done, they'll turn the report over to you.
And I believe,
They'll never get that.
I believe
They'll never get
that,
done.
I believe that I know who your private investigator was.
But he's Paul Dre. It's the same type, I'm just
Yeah.
referring to, it's the same deal, it's a private.
Yeah,
From
it's a
the-
private
from his attorney.
investigator. As a matter of fact, I think I was with him
And
yesterday.
if the attorney was trying to set him up, what's his private detective gonna do?
When I see the attorneys down at the courthouse, Sullivan, Priyanka, they walk around all smiling, like they're not even worried about nothing, like 'cause they can just get away with everything they do. They don't even care that
Yeah.
if they commit all the crimes they're committing. They don't even care. They just get away with it. Get away with it. Get away with it.
Nobody holds anybody in the judicial system accountable for anything, nothing. Because you can't, because it takes someone in the judicial system to hold somebody
And
accountable.
this is my
They
point.
won't do it.
This-
You need oversight.
This group of 150
Even if you don't-
attorneys, 150 attorneys, I don't know, I can't remember right now the name of the organization. They are complaining, eh?
The Bar Association.
No, not that one. This is another.
Oh, okay.
I never hear of them before,
Okay.
but I read it in the daily paper today. They complaining because the district attorney is filming a movie or a TV show in the courtroom.
Way down the road.
They waive, yeah. They waive. They are complaining about such a ridiculous, simple thing, and they don't go out and expose the criminal behavior of the.
Well, that's the old smoke and mirrors. They talk about shit that don't matter to take away the attention
To
from
take
what does.
the attention from the.
Like the FBI dump right on a Friday afternoon on a holiday weekend. So nobody sees the information. It's all contrived effort to
Is
cover
that why
things
your
up.
friend Hillary Clinton do all the campaign on a Saturday night so people don't watch all the lives?
That's
She
the
said.
debates.
That's what.
You
How
know,
can
2 or
you
3
be
in the
friends with a
morning.
woman like that?
You can't. But
You know.
the whole entire, when you have a country, and it's been around for 240 years, I guarantee you one thing, it's completely shot to hell. Because the natural progression of things, from the day you start, the next day it's gonna be worse, and the next day worse, and the next day worse. Because you have to rely upon people to
Sure.
control the system, and they get corrupted.
It's a shame
And
because.
it's like a cancer.
it's
Cancer
a-
doesn't get better the next day on its own. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse.
It's a shame because I tell you, this
Roman
is
Empire,
a
where are they
very,
today?
very well
Gonzo.
documented case. I wish everybody that come here come with a case like well documented like.
Yeah, but then the issue is, what do you do about it? You can't do a damn thing until you get this discipline organizations that are supposed to be set up to police the system itself, and you get the lawyers and the judges the hell off of those committees, and you get them replaced with laymen, business people in the community that don't have a goddamn thing to do with the law. But they have common sense, and they can read, and they can say, here's the statute, and you didn't rule towards the statute, what are you doing, litigating from the bench? You can't do that, and they have the power to overturn any judge's decision, right then and there. It doesn't take 4 years, it's done right then and there. Next case.
I apologize for giving you the illusion that we was gonna bring to you another criminal case committed by lawyers and prosecutors and public defenders in our community, but in the good faith and as a respect to this gentleman, I cannot continue with this interview, so I apologize for that. But we're gonna work on it to see how we can bring you this, even if we don't talk to him anymore, we are going to be able to we got the case number, we got everything, and then we can write about without him. It will be like always, a one side of the story, because that's the way it is with Las Vegas Tribune. Everybody close our doors so we cannot do our job. But we are doing our job, folks, and I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate you to be able to understand what I'm saying here today in my good faith and honor to the truth and to justice. I cannot put this young man in the position to lose his freedom just for a story. There's no way I can do that. My name is Rolando Larraz. I stand behind every word in this program, and I thank you for listening. And God bless you. God bless America. God bless our troops.
This doesn't work.
Let me show you the name of that organization.